All right, so today we are going to start with the management process. The first phase of the management process, which is planning. Okay, actually, meron na tayong overview of what planning is all about. But of course, we will have a more in-depth discussion of the topic, which is all about planning. So this is the first phase. This is one of the most important phase of the management process because without planning, you will not have a good outlook. You will not have an organized future. Okay, and of course you will not have a productive results. All right. So in planning, planning is actually a critically important process. Okay, to all management functions. So without adequate planning, the management process fails, and eventually the organizational needs and objectives cannot be met. All right. So planning can also be defined as deciding in advance. Okay. So this is deciding in advance. Okay, kaya tinitignan na natin lahat ng anggulo, okay, lahat ng pwedeng mangyari, lahat ng pwedeng consequences ng ating okay na ating mga ginagawa para maiwasan na natin okay with of course a good planning methodologies, all right? And of course activities. So planning, sabi nga natin kanina, is deciding, okay, in advance. All right. So this is deciding in advance on what to do, okay, who is to do it. All right. So ilalagay natin, deciding in advance what to do. Okay. So what to do. All right. What to do. At the same time, you also have now, all right, who is going to do it, who is going to do it, and of course, how, all right, how are we going to do it? When will, when are we going to start it, all right? When are we going to start the process, and where, okay, is the location? Where is the venue? Okay, where are we going to do it? All right. So these are the questions that you are going to ask yourselves, your group, at the same time, your team, okay, and the other team members. All right, when you are planning on a certain task. All right. So therefore, all planning involves choosing among alternatives. So you have a lot of choices. You have various options that okay that is needed to be evaluated as you go on with your plans. Okay, so all planning involves choice, a necessity to choose from among alternatives. So this would imply that planning is a proactive, all right? This is a proactive, okay, and deliberate process. Okay, all right. So when you say proactive plus, this is something that you create, okay? There is a creation, um, there is an output, okay? There is a policy, a person, or an action, okay, causing something, okay, causing something to happen, all right? Causing something to happen. All right, rather than responding, okay, rather than responding to it, okay, rather than responding to it after it has happened, after it has happened. So lahat na pwede mong gawin now, okay, today, at present, should be done, should be made should be, yes, it should be made into action, all right, and it should be realized already. So you do not have to wait for the future or some other time to do something or to respond into a certain activity. So planning, all right, is actually it encourages unity of goals. Okay, it encourages unity of goals. All right. So lahat ng gusto mong mangyari, lahat ng gusto mong outcome, lahat ng gusto mong ma-implement dun sa or organization or dun sa team should be unified. Okay, dapat magkasama-sama sila. Okay, if you can make a plan, okay, hitting two birds or three birds with one stone, then that is something effective. All right, and of course, adequate planning also provides the manager with some means of control. So the time frame and the adequacy of time, effort, all right, and of course the supply of manpower, okay, that is contributing to the success of the plan, all right, encourages the most appropriate use of your resources as well. Okay, so in effective planning, the manager must identify the short term as well as the long term goals and changes needed to ensure that the unit or the department will continue, okay, to meet its goals and objectives. So identifying these short term and long term plans, all right, requires leadership skills. Okay, so the leader must have a vision and creativity as well as a determination, okay, to push through with with the mission, regardless of the number of positions, all right, or the number of people who are pulling the team, okay, or the leader, okay, for that project or for that um, um, task to fail. Okay, so the leader here, okay, should have a vision and creativity, sabi nga natin kanina, because this is something that is difficult. All right, something that needs, okay, support from the people. All right, in that certain tawag dito, in that certain organization. It is actually arduous, okay? It is burdensome. It can be very demanding, and sometimes, okay, it can be very punishing, okay? And of course, especially towards the leader, because it is very impossible to plan what cannot be dreamed or envisioned. Okay? So likewise, you have to take note that planning requires flexibility and energy. So these are two, okay, isusulat natin. These are two other leadership characteristics that, that someone should possess. Okay? So there should be flexibility. Okay? Ibig sabihin, you are open to changes, okay, to modification. At the same time, you should have that aura of encouragement. At the same time, the spirit of a what do you call this one? An energetic spirit. Okay, when you say energetic spirit, it should not only manifest, okay, physically, but of course the dynamism, okay, the activeness, the friskiness of the leader. Okay, yung talagang ano tawag doon, yung indefatigable, yung hindi nila nakikita na napapagod ka, of course, emotionally, psychologically, as well as physically. All right. So these two leadership qualities of the leader, flexibility and energy, should always manifest, regardless of how difficult the situation or the process is. Yet planning also requires management skills, of course, such as data gathering. Okay, you need data gathering. What else? Forecasting. Okay, looking into the future. Okay, thinking in advance, and at the same time, transforming ideas. Okay, transforming ideas into, okay, action. Okay, so this is very important, class. All right. So on this topic, all right, we will be dealing with a lot of concepts. All right, and we will be dealing with the foundation of planning on how to make a successful and at the same time a proactive planning. All right, in of course in achieving the objectives and goals of our organization. All right. And of course, because of the rapidly changing healthcare industry and because of the many reforms that happened and which occurred in the healthcare sector, there is also rapidly changing technology, increasing government involvement in the regulation of the healthcare, and at the same time, there are scientific advances, and healthcare organizations are finding it increasingly difficult to identify long-term needs appropriately and plan accordingly. So, in fact, most long-term planners find it difficult to plan more than a few years ahead. Okay? So, the healthcare system is actually in chaos. So, medyo problematic ang ating healthcare system as is much of the business world. But of course, there are a lot of processes, there are a lot of solutions, okay, that is also available in this chaotic times. But of course, traditional management solutions no longer apply, and we should find more innovative solutions. And a lack of strong leadership in the healthcare system has limited the innovation needed to create solutions to the new and complex problems that the future will bring. And because these changes occur so rapidly, managers can now easily become focused on short-range plans and miss these changes that can drastically alter specific long-term plans. All right. So healthcare facilities are particularly vulnerable to external social, economic, and political forces. All right. So we are the healthcare industry. All right, is vulnerable to. Okay, sulat natin. We are naku, we are vulnerable. All right. Paano nangyari dun sa ating pen? Okay. We are All right, ulitin natin. We are actually vulnerable to, okay, to external. Okay, number one. Ano nangyari? What happened? Okay, to external. Ako kahit dito sa pad, pangit pa rin ang sulat. Ano? Walang pinagkaiba sa personal. Okay, to external and external social, okay, economic, okay, and of course, political forces. Okay, so these are our some issues that we need to address. Right, our vulnerability to influences coming from all right social, economic, and political systems. All right, so it is imperative, therefore, that long-range plans should be flexible. It should be adaptable, okay, to the changes coming from the external forces, which asserts their impact on healthcare facilities. All right. So there might be factors emerging in the rapidly changing healthcare system that must be incorporated in your planning for healthcare organizations' future. So some emerging paradigms that we must okay consider. All right is of course number one is consolidation of hospitals, all right, medical services, yung ating mga RHUs, mga emergency and district hospitals. And this consolidation will be driven by the need for critical mass to fill gaps in the continuum of services offered, to reduce operating costs per unit, and to streamline transitions in care, and to expand geographic reach. All right. So there are actually a lot of areas here in the Philippines which are not accessible to okay what do you call this one to the people. Okay, so madami pa rin tayong mga facilities na minsan they are concentrated or they are focused on a certain area only, kaya nagkakaroon ng disparity between the rural areas then at the same time compared with the ones in the urban places. So as you can see in some cities meron silang 10 or 12 hospitals, okay? Unlike in the rural areas, may isa lang, pero minsan hindi pa sila well equipped, okay? So there must be further consolidation of these hospitals or institutions. So there is also number one, okay, is of course consolidation. Okay. Ayan. So, nagloloko na naman yung ating pen. Okay. Ano na namang nangyari sa'yo? Okay. Number one is you have consolidation. All right. Number two, class, of course, is we have to take note of this, that there is a tension between value and volume that has reached its maximum point. All right. With growing linkages between expected quality outcomes and reimbursement, healthcare organizations must increasingly determine whether value drives volume or whether volume is necessary to achieve the value. Okay? So, minsan, okay, the thinking of managers is that the more patients, the more the income as well. But of course, the more patients, the tendency or the consequence would be okay, a jeopardy, okay, na nagjo-jeopardize, okay, nagjo-jeopardize yung ating, okay, delivery of quality healthcare. So, maganda rin, minsan madami, okay, minsan pag nasa hospital ka, especially in the government hospital, okay, natutuwa kayo na maraming pasyente kasi the more patients you have, the larger the PhilHealth share that you will receive. But of course, okay, minsan sa dami din ng pasyente na ano din na um, nahuhugot lahat din yung energy ng mga staff, okay, to the point na okay, staff experiences now burnout, okay, or fatigue or too much stress, that they also have, okay, at sometimes physical breakdown. Okay? Sumusuko din yung kanilang katawan sa load din ng kanilang trabaho. Okay? So yun ang isang problema natin. All right. In okay, in admitting a lot of patients, knowing, okay, na nakakatulong siya doon sa pag-angat ng ating sweldo, tumataas yung ating PhilHealth share. But eventually we will realize na ano din pala na ano yung katawan natin na sa sobrang na ma-maximize yung ating functions. Okay? At nararamdaman natin yung degrading effects. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nagde-deteriorate ng mabilis yung ating katawan from the burnout, from the fatigue, from the stress, okay, that we experience from work. All right? So these are actually issues that we need to address, all right, especially that our the healthcare industry is becoming so complicated. It is becoming so adaptable to changes. All right, that minsan hindi pa tayo nakaka-adjust from changes brought by, for example, Plan A, meron na namang bagong update, okay, or trend, okay, from Plan B, okay, at yun nga, na-overwhelm tayo with the number, okay, or the amount of changes that is happening or occurring in our facilities or agencies. All right. So, okay. That is why, class, it is very important that we strategize, okay? Meron tayong mga kanya-kanyang may mga kanya-kanya tayong strategies. But of course, our strategies are aligned, okay, to the theoretical foundations, okay, that we learn from school, okay, and from our experience. All right. So as we go along with the attainment of our goals and objectives, there should be in planning there should be a strategic process, okay, or we should strategize, okay, for our planning to be more flexible. It could be very understandable, mas feasible, okay, mas attainable yung ating paggawa ng plano. So some of the things that you have to consider, all right, is that planning also has many dimensions. Marami siyang pwedeng puntahan, marami siyang pwedeng pagsangahan. Okay, and two of these dimensions are time, okay, your time span, and the complexity or comprehensiveness. So the time span, for example, you've been planning for a certain project and you have allotted, for example, 1 week, okay, before the conclusion of that project. So bago mag isang linggo or after 1 week, you should be finished or okay, or you should finish already the project. So meron na dapat siyang output after 1 week. But of course, that is not always the case. Meron at merong minsan napapaaga yung pagtapos natin or pag-fulfill natin dun sa ating mga tasks. But of course, a lot of times, okay, nag-extend tayo because, there are there are unforeseen, okay, events that may happen, like for example, disasters, okay, or delays, okay, or minsan miscommunication, hindi nabibigyan ng proper communication or proper communication ng mga taong concerned, and that may cause a delay in the achievement or in the completion of the task. All right. So generally, complex organizational plans that involves a long period, usually 3 to 7 years, are referred to as strategic plans, okay, or long-range plans. So, however, this strategic planning may be done once or twice a year in an organization that changes rapidly. So just like the hospital, okay, na mabilis ang sa pagdating sa manpower, mabilis ang pagpalit ng manpower because most of our nurses after they work in a certain hospital for 2 years, okay, at least 2 years, umaalis na yan, nag-abroad. And nagiging training ground nila, yung minsan nagiging training ground lang nila yung mga hospitals dito sa Pilipinas, okay? Of course, in search of greener pastures abroad or greener opportunities abroad. So, this strategic plan, sabi nga natin kanina, maybe can be done in at least once or twice a year so that you can assess whether the direction is of your project or task is going towards your towards your goal or towards your vision. Okay, so you need to look, okay, you need to evaluate, you need to check it over and over again if it is directed really to your vision. Okay, so for instance, an organization could develop a strategic plan for dealing with nursing shortage. Ayan nga, so issue yan, yung nursing shortage natin, preparation for succession of managers in the organization, because as you all know, every time, okay, lagi-lagi na may mga nawawala na mga supervisors or heads, okay, in the department, may mga nagre-retire, may mga namamatay, may mga nagre-resign, may mga minsan nakakasuhan and they are terminated from their work. So kailangan ina-address natin yung possibility of hiring, okay, a replacement for every employee who would leave the organization. Okay, so at the same time, we develop also a marketing plan. How can we advertise further the institution for it to become profitable? Okay, and of course, how will the hospital be known? Of course, among the people, okay, in that area. Okay, redesigning workload as well. This is very important since majority of nurses, okay, and majority of nurses working here in the Philippines are would experience too much burnout because of understaffing. Kaya kailangan tinitignan natin yung pag-redesign ng workload nila. Like for example, changing the shift, okay, of nurses from 8 hours to 12 hours. But of course, in a 12 hours duty, mas dadami yung kanilang off duties. Okay? So unlike in an 8 hour shift na 40 hours ka magtatrabaho in a week, the remaining 2 days will serve as your off. okay, or off duties. In a 12-hour plan, okay, or in a 12-hour shift, may week na tatlo lang yung duty mo, 4 days off ka. And then the following week, since tatlo na yung off, yung duty mo lang nung last week, magiging apat naman yung duty mo on the second week, parang tatlo lang din yung off mo. Pero I really appreciate the the type of shifting nga na 12 hours since mas marami kang time talaga sa family. At the same time, kung may mga ano ka din, may mga ibang trabaho ka, may mga racket ka, mas napagtutuunan mo din ng pansin o nabibigyan mo ng oras yung other functions mo. Okay? So at the same time, you develop also partnerships, okay, or simply planning for organizational success. So some experts suggest, however, that value-based payment and increased need for cost-cutting, quality mandates, and the need for increased operational efficiencies will require reconfiguration of how strategic planning is done in most healthcare organizations. All right. So at times, okay, since the financial side of an institution is of vital importance, okay, hindi gagalaw ang isang organization without budget, hindi rin magiging successful o kaya magiging determinado ang mga empleyado if they are not fed well. Okay? So instead of focusing on the external environment and the marketplace or the potential of the institution, okay, for patronage, okay, among people, healthcare organizations will need to look closely at their competencies and weaknesses. Okay, and as we examine, okay, the weaknesses, we must be ready also for the possible changes that may be suggested, all right, or that will serve as our modification, okay, towards the weaknesses of the institution that we are working with. And of course, we would be able later on to identify factors which are critical to achieving future goals and objectives. Okay, so in the strategic planning, we actually employ several methodologies to check at the same time to appraise, okay, the performance of the organization. So letter A, of course, is environmental analysis. This would require a broad view of the organization's current environment, okay, and need for both internal and external environment appraisal. So we are assessing the external and internal environments, okay, by attempting to view the trends and future issues and needs that could impact the organization as a whole. At the same time, nabanggit nga natin kanina that we do not only look, okay, at the outside forces, okay, but of course, more importantly, on what we have inside, okay, by seeking to conduct inventory on the organization's assets and liabilities. So if the organization is no longer profitable, especially if it's a project, it's a private institution, then that could be very frightening. Okay, nakakatakot at nakakabahala. Okay, yung mga ganyang if you are placed in a situation like that. Okay, so in a certain environment, we have to take note of the possibilities, all right, like threats, okay, that may happen, especially outside, okay, but as well as opportunities, okay. It can be manpower, it can be equipments, all right, which could, open more doors, all right, into our institution. So inside, we can see that, there are, okay, we should analyze, we should always make internal analysis as we look into the weaknesses and strengths of the organization. So as soon as we know the strengths and the weaknesses, okay, by opening it up, okay, to the group, to the team, okay, that's the same time that you will be able to see the glitches, you would be able to know the shortcomings of the institution, okay. So this is one of the most effective tools that would assist organizations in their strategic planning. So this is also one of the most commonly used, okay, tools in healthcare organization. Okay, that's what we call as your SWOT analysis. Okay, in the SWOT analysis, all right, the first step in SWOT analysis is to define the desired end state of your objectives. Okay, so we will define, we will also know, we will enumerate the desired end state of or objective. So after the desired objective is defined, is already known, all right? The SWOTs are discovered and listed. Okay, so the SWOT, okay, or the problems, the issues that that arises, okay, from our definition of the desired end state or objective, we now enumerate it. Okay, we will now put it one by one. Okay, whether it is a strength, whether it is a weakness, whether it is an opportunity or a threat. All right. So decision makers must then decide if the objective can be achieved in view of the SWOTs. So if the decision is no, a different objective is selected and the process repeats. All right. So yun na nga, sabi ko nga, it's a cycle. It can be recurring. All right. So problema siya ngayon. Okay. And later on, maano naman natin siya, magagawa natin ng paraan until such time that it doesn't become a problem again. So
Hello, I'm going to talk about and then find the role of a you may that you're responsible for to management organization or are. What is it that you do? Global research, information, knowledge that can be a huge strength. Being able to enter your market and become one of your competitors. It could also be in the form of your culture. Some organizations have very, very distinctive cultures, such as think of a company like Google or Apple has very, very distinctive cultures within their organization that is really a strength of theirs that they can leverage.
all right, so this video would give you a glimpse on how SWOT analysis is actually um, a great part, a vital part of strategic planning.
Hello, and thank you for joining this Collaborative Dynamics mini lecture on strategic planning using SWOT. So in this mini lecture, I'm going to cover a few different things with you. I'm going to talk about the importance of strategy and planning within organizations, particularly from a management perspective. I'm going to identify the components that make up a SWOT analysis, and then finally discuss the importance of SWOT in the strategic planning process. So if we think about the role of managers within an organization, the role of a manager is to take resources, all of the resources that they're responsible for, and turn that into performance for the organization. And those resources aren't simply human resources, such as the people that report to them, but can also consist of financial resources. So it could be in the form of a budget that you have to manage. It could be in the form of revenue that's coming into the organization. Additionally, you may also be responsible for some physical resources, such as a building, a plant, some form of property that you have to manage in order to be successful and in order to manage your business effectively. Additionally, we have technology resources, such as information technology, data, the physical computers themselves, the hardware that exists that runs your IT infrastructure could also be resources that you're responsible for. And then finally, various forms of equipment that are needed in order for your organization to function. If you're in manufacturing, this could be forklifts. If you're in an office, this could be desks and photocopiers and printers and things along those lines. So all of those different resources have to come together, and we have to plan and align those resources correctly in order to achieve the results that we want for the organization. And this could be in the form of revenue, it could be in the form of shareholder value, or really any other measurement that the organization has for determining performance or measuring the performance of the organization. So as it relates to strategic planning, the role of strategic planning as it relates to management is to define what the path is, what's the roadmap in order to make that happen. What are some of the initiatives that we have to take up as an organization? What are the different things that we should stop doing? Should we enter new markets? Should we pull out of different markets? Should we change our marketing strategy? All of these things come out of strategic planning and helps to define how we need to align those resources in order to achieve the organizational performance. And SWOT analysis is just one form of analysis that's used within the strategic planning process. The SWOT consists of 4 different things, each of which is really taking a look at your organization from a little bit of a different perspective. So what we're doing with a SWOT analysis is we're analyzing our organization or even a piece of our organization and determining what the strengths are, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that exist for our organization. By doing this, this helps us understand what are we doing well, what are we not doing so well, what's going on in the industry or within our larger environment that we need to pay attention to that may provide opportunities for us to be more effective or that may threaten our ability to be as effective. So all of this provides a comprehensive look at how your organization is performing and maybe some insights into what you could be doing well or what you should continue to do in the future. Strengths. Let's think about what some of the questions that you can ask as a manager in order to assess what your strengths are. So as a manager, you can simply ask, what does the organization do well? What do you do well as an organization that really adds significant value for you? If you're a company like Zappos, for instance, you may be very, very good at delivering excellent customer service. So that's something that you really, really do well and a core strength of yours as an organization. If you're a company like Toyota, for instance, then your strength may very well be manufacturing a quality product very efficiently. So Toyota is known for high quality, they're known for efficiency. We think about Lean and Six Sigma, a lot of those things that were developed in part by Toyota. That's something that they do very, very well. So think about what is it that you do really, really well as an organization and add those to your strengths. What types of unique experience or knowledge does the organization possess? Do you have some very specific knowledge assets within the organization? And this could be in the form of people. You may have the absolute best trained people to do the work that your organization does. If you're a research organization, you may have the best scientists in the world working on your products. If you're a company like GE, their global research division probably adds this as a strength of theirs, that they have this very, very broad and deep knowledge in so many different subjects that's really a core strength of theirs. This could also be in the form of information technology, especially as we think about organizations today and the amount of information technology that they collect from individuals and their customers and prospective customers. Really, the more we know about our customers and about our environment, the more of a strength that is for us. So if an organization has significant information resources or information knowledge, that can be a huge strength for them as an organization. What geographic advantages does the organization possess? For instance, if you are a very large national organization, do you have a lot of locations across the country? If you think McDonald's, for instance, McDonald's, the strength of theirs is they have this huge global presence. They have thousands of restaurants all over the world. That's a huge geographic advantage for them and would be very difficult for another competitor to be able to replicate very easily. What's the organization's reputation or ratings in the industry? So not only what do you do well, what do other people recognize you as doing well? So for instance, if you're a large organization, do you have J.D. Power and Associates awards? Are there other industry awards that exist? If you're a reseller of some type of a product or service, are you a gold member or a diamond member or whatnot that sort of demonstrates your reputation or rating within the industry? So it's important to list those things out to help identify really what are your core strengths, but also what are people recognizing you for as your core strengths. And then finally, are there any unique characteristics about your organization? And this could be in the form of your product. So do you have a very, very unique product that nobody offers? Do you have sort of a very distinctive niche within the industry that nobody else has been able to replicate? Even do you have a lot of patents that might prevent other companies from being able to enter your market and become one of your competitors? It could also be in the form of your culture. Some organizations have very, very distinctive cultures, such as think of a company like Google or Apple has very, very distinctive cultures within their organization that is really a strength of theirs that they can leverage from a strategic planning perspective. So next, if we think about our weaknesses, so kind of the opposite of what our strengths are, we can ask ourselves some questions as managers to determine what some of those weaknesses are. So what does the organization need to improve upon? If you look at your financials, if you look at your key metrics that you track as an organization, if you look at your standing within the industry, where do you need to improve? Do you have issues with quality? Do you have issues with customer satisfaction? Do you have issues within your organization of turnover? So do you have an issue of being able to retain the talent that you're hiring as an organization? So think about all of those things and have a very honest look at, because it's very easy to talk about our strengths, but let's be very honest about what our weaknesses are as an organization and make sure that we're identifying those things that we need to improve upon. Are there financial challenges that exist within the organization? Because those very often are weaknesses for us. Are we too highly leveraged? Meaning, do we have too much debt as an organization that we're taking on? Do we not have enough shareholders invested in the organization? That can create financial challenges in being able to raise capital for the organization in order to expand. Are you going through a bankruptcy? Is there a pending lawsuit that's going on, a very large lawsuit that's going to create financial challenges for you? So thinking about from a financial standpoint, take a look at your financial statements and whatnot to try to figure out where some of those issues might lie. Does the organization have a bad reputation? So is there bad press that's been going out about your organization in the news? Are there other types of things that are causing you to maybe not have a very good reputation? Again, if you have very high turnover, then that might translate into customer satisfaction and your overall reputation as a business. So be very honest about what your reputation is within the organization and define, is that a strength of yours or is it a weakness? Are there any gaps in geography that will create a limitation or an issue for you? So, for instance, if we look at McDonald's as an example again, McDonald's is a very large global organization, which is a strength for them, that they're very, very large. But there are geographical gaps that exist that will limit their ability to expand into other areas, particularly emerging markets. So there may be gaps in geography that might exist. And the same is true potentially for a very small franchise organization that's trying to grow. They don't have maybe the geographical dispersity that a company like McDonald's or Burger King or Subway might have in being able to compete. So we should think about what some of those geographical gaps that exist, and not just nationally, but also internationally. You think about where you want to grow as an organization, or where you need to grow as an organization. Are there geographical gaps in being able to have a presence in emerging markets such as India or China or in Europe or in Africa or South America? So think a little bit beyond the United States and really look at where some of those geographic gaps might exist. Are the right people in the right jobs? So do you have the right employees, particularly the right leaders, doing the right jobs that will help drive the organization forward? If not, then that's a weakness for you. How strong is your management team? Do you have a management team that are leaders that are able to drive change, or are they really more managers that are just kind of keeping the work going? And what do you need as an organization? Do you have the right mix of people doing the right jobs, the right capacity of leadership within your organization in order to achieve what you want to achieve? And then, are your employees engaged or motivated? If you have very low employee engagement or high turnover or motivational types of issues within your organization, that's going to translate into a weakness for you. And you should be, again, very honest about that. Next, let's think about the opportunities that exist for us as an organization, and let's take a look at some of the questions that we can ask as a manager. Are there opportunities for partnerships or alliances, maybe some type of a joint venture with another organization that might help strengthen our ability to do what we want to do as an organization? This could be in the form of not just creating a new business, but you may just partner with another business. It could be a charity, it could be another for-profit organization in order to help further your organization's mission and vision. What are the industry trends that you could take advantage of? Is there something coming along in the industry that you can pick up on and that you can implement that will help create an opportunity for you and add a strength for you as an organization? What new products are in development that you could create that you could take advantage of? So if we think about product development and releasing new products, are you able to put a product in the market, or is there a new product that you should be putting into the market that will create an opportunity for you for additional growth, additional market share, and whatnot? How can you work to reduce costs? So what opportunities exist to become more efficient as an organization, whether it's driving down labor costs, whether it's reducing waste or improving quality within your organization? What are some of those opportunities that exist to improve the efficiency of your organization and reduce costs? How can you become more nimble and flexible as an organization? So can you reduce some of the bureaucracy? Are there processes that don't make sense, or processes that maybe make it more difficult for you to service your customers effectively or do work as effectively? So how can you reduce some of that in order to become a more flexible organization, and an organization that's able to change more effectively? As we all know, businesses change constantly, and the success of an organization in part will be determined upon how well you're able to change, how able you are to adapt to changes in the industry. And then, are there any other new markets that you could enter? If we look at emerging markets, which a lot of organizations are moving into, what types of markets are you able to move into in order to help you grow as an organization? And then finally, let's take a look at threats. So questions we can ask to determine or identify what our threats are as an organization may be seasonality. So is there a seasonality of our organization that may cause a threat for us? So how do we create an opportunity for that as well, right? So if we think of the inverse, how do we take that threat and create an opportunity? Can we build a product that helps smooth out our revenue so that we're not as affected by the seasonality of our business? Companies that make most of their money, for instance, in the winter time or around Christmas time, are very, very affected by the economy and people being able to spend money on Christmas. If I'm if I'm a landscaper and I snowplow driveways in the wintertime, that's very seasonal, and my ability to make money is going to be dependent upon it snowing. So if it doesn't snow, then I'm not going to make as much money. So that's how seasonality can impact our businesses. Do certain major customers contribute a large percentage of our revenue? So if we look at our customers, are there certain customers that could be threats to us, or our competitors could be threats? Because if we lose those customers, then that could make up a significant portion of our business. And if we lose that business, then that's a big loss for us as an organization. So do you have those major customers that contribute to a large percentage of revenue? What is the forecast of your cost? Are your raw material costs, your transportation costs, all the costs that you incur as an organization in order to manufacture your product, where are those trending? Are they going up? Are they going down? If energy costs are projected to go up, then that creates a threat for you as an organization that you then need to address. How is technology changing? And are you able to keep up with the pace of that technology that's changing? If you are not able to do that, then that creates a threat for you as an organization because you may not be as efficient. You may not be able to do some of the things that an organization or a competitor that has adopted that technology is able to do. And then how strong are your competitors? If you take a look at your competitors within the market, what do they look like? Are they really emerging? Do you have a lot of larger competitors than you? Are you number 2 or number 3 within your market? Take a look at those competitors and even do a SWOT analysis on them and see how they compare to you. And then finally, what is changing within the environment? So if we think about environmental changes, think about the economy, think about other forces that exist, political forces, regulatory forces that exist. How are all of those different environmental factors changing, and what threat does that create to me as an organization? If I'm trying to expand my business into, say, emerging markets, but we know that some of those emerging markets, there may be some geopolitical issues going on, that may be a threat for me as an organization. If I'm trying to expand into Russia, for instance, and there's sanctions being placed on Russia, what does that do to my business, and what type of a threat does that pose? So it's important to understand not just what's going on within your organization and your competitors, but also a little bit broader, and think about some of those larger environmental issues, such as the economy and politics and regulations, and determine what of those types of issues creates threats for you as an organization. So, what do we know? So, now we know that strategic planning is important for organizations to make decisions on how to utilize their resources in order to achieve their organizational goals. So they're really creating that path or that roadmap to achieving their organizational goals. And SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool that organizations can use to identify their strengths, their weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this is really just one tool that managers can use alongside other tools such as Porter's 5 Forces analysis, there's PESTEL analysis, workforce planning, financial planning. All of these different tools can be used and can come together in order to help the organization develop a comprehensive strategic plan, which is ultimately the goal here. Ultimately, the goal of strategic planning is creating that roadmap of how we're going to take our resources and turn them into performance for the organization. So all of these different tools are important, and SWOT is just one of those tools that we can use.
All right. So in short, the SWOT analysis is very important, of course, in as a measure of strength. At the same time, it also measures now the things um, that you do not actually see on the background. All right. So the things that you do not see immediately. So in assessing now, in using now the SWOT analysis, in short, the strength would contain the advantages. All right. So it would include now your advantages. What else? The capabilities of the people, all right, or the company itself, or the institution itself. What else? The resources, okay, the available resources, okay, that can be enhanced further, all right, okay, to be beneficial, all right, to your daily operation, all right, your assets as well as your people. These are the strength of the institution. At the same time, you can also include the marketing skills, the marketing methods, all right, and the reach. Okay, gaano ba kalawak yung naaabot ng inyong institution, okay, ng inyong hospital. The distribution, okay, of supplies and goods. At the same time, the okay awareness, all right, of people, okay, towards your product, towards your business. Okay, so these are the strengths of your the things that you need to include in the okay in assessing the strength of the company. All right. So of course, if there are strengths, if there are positive attributes that you can actually include in your company or in your institution, or uh, uh, you can tell other people regarding your company, okay, or you can regard your company. There are also weaknesses, okay, or there are also there are also downsides, okay, of the uh, of a certain institution. So you have to assess also the weaknesses, like for example, the lack of competitive strength, okay, the lack of competitive strength, okay. So halimbawa, nandun ka na lang sa status quo, you just do the things that you have been doing before, all right? And ang dami ng nagsisilitaw na mga kakompetensya ng hospital ninyo, and you are still conventional, okay, ibig sabihin hindi ka pa rin nag-a-adapt sa mga pagbabago, then you are not as competitive as they are, all right? So what else? You also have to consider now your financials, okay, as a weakness. All right. So what else? Your vulnerabilities, okay. Vulnerabilities should also be taken into consideration as a weakness. What else? Your deadlines, okay, and of course pressures. These are included in your weaknesses. At the same time, the continuity, okay, continuity of projects, continuity, of course, of the staff, okay, working in your area, okay, or in your institution. At the same time, class, we also have to take note of the possible opportunities that may also come along the way. Like, for example, market developments, okay, market developments, or you can also include market advances, okay. At the same time, business, okay, and product developments, okay, business and product developments. These are now possible opportunities that may come as a surprise, okay, or maybe gradually as you go on with okay your um, as you go on with the operations of your institution. So there are also if there are opportunities, there will also be obstacles, okay, and there will be threats, okay, in the attainment of a positive result. So threats that may possibly come are environmental, okay, effects, okay, environmental effects, environmental effects, such as, of course, you have um, disasters that may come a long way, all right, and other damaging effects brought by the environment. Okay, market demand uh, could also be a threat. So, for example, there are, yun nga, sabi natin, we have robust competitors in the market. Okay, and yung practices natin is no longer uh, effective as compared to the ones, okay, sprouting in the market, mga new markets or new players in the market. And, people like changes, okay? Aminin man natin, okay, but, people like technology, advancements in technology, okay? So, pag may mga bagong for example, in the uh, mobile mobile phone market, okay, or in the market of mobile phones, mas gusto natin yung upgraded, yung latest version ng cellphone. So, ganoon din tayo. We want, as much as possible, if we have the budget, if we are able to, if we are able to, uh, to purchase or to go to a good hospital, okay, to a private hospital, talagang pinagkakagastusan natin. And we want the hospital that could provide us the best possible service. All right. So if there are changes in the demand in the market, especially if syempre ang tao, we want, gusto natin yung pinakabago, gusto natin yung pinaka-latest, gusto natin yung pinakamaganda, pinakamaayos ang serbisyo, then we look for that kind of player inside the market. So these are actually threats. Okay, so if you do not adapt to changes, okay, that occurs in in the market, then you will lose sight of the opportunities. At the same time, uh, ang tendency is you will be you will never be recognized, okay, at hindi ka na magiging tawag dito, hindi aangat yung pangalan mo dun sa competition. So aside from the demand from markets, you also have obstacles, okay, and obstacles may come in many forms, like for example financial obstacles, okay, or um, obstacles in the manpower, walang mga aplikante, but there is a high demand of there is a high demand of employees, example for the nursing service, pero dahil wala nang nag-graduate, wala nang mga bagong nurses, walang nagre-replenish, okay, o walang there is no one replacing those who have retired early, okay, in the profession. So the SWOT analysis is very important since this kind of assessment tool would help institution in building what to do well. All right. So ano pa ba yung kailangan nating i-improve? Ano pa ba yung kailangan nating baguhin? So this will also assist to address what the institution is lacking. So ano pa yung kulang natin? Ano pa yung mga wala sa atin na meron sa kanila? Okay, then we have to be very competitive since doon sa kabila meron na silang ultrasound. Tayo, we've been in the in service for 80 years na, pero up until today wala pa tayong mga bagong equipments, okay? Ayan. So nakakatulong din yun sa promotion ng hospital. So take possible this SWOT analysis would also take possible advantage of chances for success. Okay, since we are able to view or to enumerate our strengths, we know what we are good at. Okay, at the same time we evaluate ourselves regarding the different weaknesses that the institution may also possess. Okay, so this will serve as our baseline for, of course, uh, taking or grabbing the opportunities, okay, or our chances for a successful operation as well. So this identifies key internal and external influences. This SWOT analysis assesses the current positions, and it focuses more on the strength and on the weakness side. We minimize it, we avoid it, we reject it, okay, and we do not consider it as much as possible. So we also this SWOT analysis also would support minimizing risk. Okay, since in the SWOT analysis, you're actually digging deeper on the different options that you may get, okay, or that should be presented, okay, to for you to have a clear view of what's going to happen or uh, uh, what the company would take, okay, for you to achieve a better direction, okay, for the plans, okay, or for your daily operations. So this SWOT analysis would also study internal and external environments of the company. It favors and inhibits the prospects of moving it to where you want it to be. At the same time, This would take the greatest possible advantage of opportunities available for you or for the company itself. So this SWOT analysis also would turn threats to opportunities, with of course still with proper and yes, proper precautions. It also gets thinking about everything potentially impactful. So you consider things that are that can become very helpful and can also become um, sensational. Okay, you want your institutions or the products that you are endorsing or promoting to be sensationalized, promoted, and will have a great reach. Okay, among your customers or clients. So it will also this SWOT analysis will also help companies to avoid poor business decisions, as well as analyze the organization's strengths, weaknesses, possible advances or developments as considered to be opportunities, as well as obstacles, shortcomings, and changes. Okay, that may fall also under threats. All right, so that's it for today. Your SWOT analysis, you have I already uploaded two activities for you guys. So I hope you are already working on it. Okay, and of course, we have a deadline for those activities, and I know you have an ample time to make those activities. So thank you and good night.